Tinubu, I understand the magnitude of task ahead. Buhari confers GCFR on Tinubu, GCON on Shetima. I knew nothing about education when appointed. UK Prime Minister versus knock rule on foreign students' families. Soludo writes Buhari on Nnamdi Kanu's release. US 2024, Florida governor to challenge Trump. And 100 million Nigerians captured for NIN, says federal government. Okay, which story are we starting in the nation?
I'll start with the major headline. So, President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu yesterday began his final movement into Aso Villa, the seat of government. He reflected on the weight of the responsibility on his shoulders as he received the baton of service and transition documents from the outgoing president. They say it was such an impressive ceremony yesterday at the State House in Abuja. Wow. He was also conferred with the highest national award, which is the Grand Commander of the Federal Republic, and also the Vice President-elect was conferred with the second highest national award, which is the GCON, Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger. The President-elect gave a speech, which I like. He said, "I am a simple man who is a beneficiary of the support and goodwill of the people of Nigeria. And the people have put their trust in us. And you have done your part, Mr. President." I was talking to the outgoing president. He says, "Now the great duty descends on me. I understand the meaning of the honor given to me today and of the task that awaits. I must run this race and I must do it well. On security, jobs, education, health, and power, and in all other sectors, we must make headway. The people deserve no less in this. I shall disappoint neither them nor you, Mr. President." He said Nigeria's path may not always be smooth, but he expressed faith in the country's purpose and collective ability to overcome challenges. So far, I'm liking, of course, the sort of words that I'm hearing. This sounds like someone who understands really
the task ahead. You know, that's been one of our concerns. That many people just come in, they're not sure the magnitude of task ahead. I'm just looking forward to that speech.
Talking about understanding the task ahead before getting a position, the Minister of Education, Adamu admitted that he had no knowledge of the educational sector when President Muhammadu Buhari appointed him to man the Federal Ministry of Education. So he said this during the valedictory service that was held in his honor, and he said he was appointed in 2015 and he has served for 91 months. So he said to make up for his lack of knowledge, he consulted professors of education who assisted him in putting a roadmap together for the sector. In 2016, he unveiled the Education for Change, the Ministerial Strategic Plan, MSP, document for the country's educational sector. Now, the roadmap was expected to serve as a blueprint to cure most of the ailments affecting the sector and provided immediate short and long-term solutions. They said he had 10 pillars. Now, he went ahead to commend the contributions of the late Prof. Gidado Tahi and Dr. Abdulrahman Omar to the document. He also hailed the head of service federation, Mrs. Folashade Yemi-Eson, who was the permanent secretary at the time, for adopting the document. So going ahead to say that he had no knowledge of educational system, except superficially, but then when he was made the Minister of Education, he called the professors firsthand and he said, and they asked him, "What do you want to achieve?" And he said, "Good things, and these are my ideas as a learner." And you know, they now helped him. I wish he told us what was contained in the documents. That
I'm not even worried about that.
Well, that was a valedictory
so that we
service.
can, so that we can even match. Did you finally achieve all of those things? But I think it doesn't make sense to.
The new administration should bring in somebody who actually knows.
Thank you.
Because we don't need to go through another 8 years old.
But we say who actually knows for education or generally?
Because I've heard
generally.
Well, because
education is so
we have sat down with ministers who have said this almost the same thing. That it's until they got to the they got their job, that they had like a few weeks where they had to, get on this, accept that. So for me, I feel education, health should be square pegs in square holes, or round,
Yeah, absolutely. They can't do that. Anyway, let me take the story about the UK Parliament. So, Member Parliament Carol Monaghan was speaking, I think, on Tuesday. I know after the UK announcement on the banning of family members of students who come in from Nigeria especially. So she was speaking to the Parliament, said that students and their families made valuable contributions to the United Kingdom, contributing about 40 billion to their economy. She said international students enrich the UK society as they have skills that have proven, to be useful across sectors. Also, the UK universities, the Universities UK International, their body also said the same thing. They said that they also opposed to the new immigration rules, said that it said that international students make an invaluable contribution to our universities and to the UK economy, building on the government's explicit commitments and ambitions, which were clearly set out in international education strategy. So the university says, please let them come with their families. We need these guys. And then the parliament is saying, we need them for the economy. Nigerians were happy to see these feedback, but the truth is that these guys are not fighting for you. They're fighting for the country.
Yeah,
it's an economic push. It has nothing to do with, it's not that they like you. So it's clear. Let's be very clear what this is about. It has nothing to do with them liking us. It's just that it's a modern, some can say it's a modern day slavery, where let's bring them in so they can do the work, so that we can get more money.
It's about the let's just say it's about the economy.
Modern day.
And so, slavery will be a bit harsh.
Sustain our economy with their fees.
Anyway, at least she has defended our people, so hopefully there could be a reconciliation.
Defended her economy.
Moving on to the Punch, May 29th. What's going on today? We're very, very feisty.
It's Friday.
I think I know what.
Punch, May 29th, Tinubu gets transition reports, vows to tackle insecurity and power crisis. Reps insist on $2.4 billion oil sale probe grill Malami. Okay, I thought we had, and oh yeah, there also. Airlines sue Sirica as Nigeria airplanes arrived today. Court finds lawyer 40 million naira over anti-Tinubu inauguration suit, and health workers begin an indefinite strike if federal government shuns demands.
If you open that page, you also see.
Yes,
more.
so I took a picture. So I took the.
Okay, I want to become rope skipping world champion, Guinness World Record. Okay, cool. Okay, which
let me take that.
Yeah,
so a 16-year student of Ijapo High School, Akure, Ondo State, Ezekiel Benga, recently broke the previous Guinness World Record in rope skipping with 265 skips on one leg in 1 minute. And he was being interviewed by a correspondent for The Punch, and he, gave his journey. So first of all, we have another Guinness World Record achievement, and he's a 16-year-old for jump rope or skipping rope.
Nigerian.
And yes, a Nigerian, and I think that he should also be celebrated as well. But of course, in his own case, he does not seem so, he hasn't made the front pages and hasn't been as popular as the one that Hilda just did. Yeah. But it's still an achievement, and he gave his journey of how he found, it was by chance he heard about the skipping rope, even as a sport, and he started doing it. They've always had events, but Nigeria has never had funding. This particular sport has never gotten funding. Right. So they've missed almost like 2 world events. And that one time the coach even offered for them to do it virtually. And that they met the coach, they were like, we want to break a record. So he said the only thing that he knows that he can do while here is the Guinness World Record. And so they were able to do it, and he broke this record. And we're so proud of you. We're proud of Nigerians that are doing amazing things all around. We're proud of those who are supporting them, coaches. Yeah. And I feel that this should also be popular and make front pages so that we know that we can be inspired in different things, the cooking, sports, in different ways. Yeah.
So you have the story on NAFDAC seals.
Yes. Should I take it?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control raided 15 supermarkets in Minna, Niger State's capital. They sealed one and confiscated many expired commodities. The agency's director, North Central, Shaba Mohammed, said this on Thursday, and they said they carried during the exercise. And he said, we are here to conduct some raids on some supermarkets in Minna. So far, we have covered 15 supermarkets. In all, we discovered some items which they have been evacuated. We also discovered unregistered products and others which have expired with their dates changed. So he explained that some of the items included tea, baked beans, beverages, and other food consumables. And there was one particular supermarket with very poor hygiene, poor warehousing, to the extent that they were storing some of their products in the toilets. They had no alternative than to evacuate everything from there, and they're going to be destroying those products and sealed that supermarket.
In the toilets,
the owners were invited to Abuja and Kaduna for further investigation.
We, the people.
So they sealed products. They have to take some of the products to the laboratory to, investigate and make sure. And they were advising that if you're buying anything, please check the labels. Sometimes they have expired and they'll just change it so that they can sell those products.
Thanks for staying with us, Vanguard. Mr. Tumpule again. He's all over the papers. Okay, I know extent of tasks ahead. I won't feel Nigerian, says Tinubu. And again, Mr. Tumpule felicitate with Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's all over the papers. I mean, if you don't want that, there's no way that man has not seen that felicitation. We have been felicitated. Okay, moving on now to the other stories of Vanguard. I know extent of tasks. I talked about that already. Nigeria Air domestic airlines move to stop takeoff today. 48 million barrels alleged illegal sale of crude false, says Malami. Federal government would award contracts and borrow till May 28th. Says Fashola. I really doubt he said that. Read the article, Sham. Nigeria can't be won by words of mouth alone, says Clark at 96. Rate of killings worrisome, says Southern and Middle Belt leaders. Alleged culpable homicide. Doguwa has no case to answer, says Kano government. Health workers begin indefinite strike. All right, which story are we sticking?
Can start with the health workers.
Yes, please.
The Joint Health Sectors Union, JOHESU, and Assembly of Healthcare Professionals Association, APA, have commenced an indefinite strike over the federal government's failure to adjust the consolidated health salary structure. CONHES for health workers was done with the consolidated medical salary structure, CONMES, for physicians. Now, consequently, the unions directed members in federal health institutions nationwide to withdraw their services indefinitely beginning yesterday. The unions are demanding immediate payment of omissions and shortfall in the COVID-19 hazard allowances of affected health workers in federal health institutions. They are also seeking recognition of health workers in non-core hospital facilities and payment of the hazard allowance as well. They are demanding speedy implementation of increase in retirement age from 60 to 65 years and 70 years for consultants in the health profession. They spoke with journalists yesterday, the vice chairman of JOHESU, Dr. Ogbonna Chimila, and he said the strike became necessary due to nonchalance, bias, and lackadaisical attitude of the Federal Ministry of Health, and resolution reached at the expanded National Executive Council, which is the NEC meeting of JOHESU, which they held Monday, May 8, 2023, said the unions were compelled to take this action to highlight major issues such as wage and benefits of non-physical health professionals and workers and outstanding payment of allowances. And they have shown patriotism for over 4 years now by not embarking on any industrial action, although their counterparts, like the Nigerian Medical Association and Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, have been going on strike several times, but they have not. But now they need this so that the government can pay attention to them and balance out their pay.
I have the story. The majority leader of the House of Representatives, Alhassan Ado Doguwa, has been exonerated by the Kano State government from charges of culpable homicide, among others, leveled against him. I don't know if we remember during the elections, he was alleged to have conspired with some people that led to violence and alleged, deaths of some indigenes of Kano State. But they say the state's Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice made briefing newsmen yesterday said that there is no substantiated evidence to link the federal lawmaker to these charges and that they could not find medical evidence to prove the deaths of victims. And anyway, just to exonerate him, that they had no evidence to prove what was alleged against him.
All right, so going to the story, for the Fashola story, that federal government, according to Vanguard, Fashola said that they will award contract till midnight 28th. But what he said while he was flagging off the 49-kilometer dilapidated Akure Ado-Ekiti road is going to be dualized, what he actually said is that people are asking why we are still awarding contracts when we have just a few days to go. Should we stop this road now and wait for the next government? This is a juvenile conversation. They forget, among other things, that the terms of this administration ends May 29th. That's what the man said. And then he was now twisted to, you will award contracts May 29th. So that's
sensational.
I kind of figured that.
Yeah.
So
that you quickly go and read it.
I have to go and read it. Well, the guy doesn't talk like that. All right, Nigerian Tribune. Let's find the story of not taken. Nigerian Airlines solicitors write Buhari wants him to stop the project. Court of Appeal slams 40 million naira fine on the ex-presidential candidate seeking to stop Tinubu's inauguration. Tobacco kills 8 million yearly, says WHO. CGN swears in 39 additional election petition tribunal members. ASU, FG releases white paper of visitation panels. And what we will remember, Buhari for Nigerians speak. Okay. Which story are we taking in the Nigerian Tribune?
Yeah, the World Health Organization says tobacco is responsible for 8 million deaths in a year. And, we're asking government to stop subsidizing tobacco farming, but to support more sustainable crops that would feed millions. The Director General, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, in a release to mark the World Tobacco Day, said tobacco is responsible for 8 million deaths a year, yet governments across the world spend millions supporting tobacco farms. He's saying that by choosing to grow food instead of tobacco, we will prioritize health, preserve ecosystems, and strengthen food security for everybody. And he said tobacco is not only a massive threat to food insecurity, but health overall, including even the health of the tobacco farmers. The farmers are exposed to chemical pesticides, tobacco smoke, and as much nicotine as found in 50 cigarettes, leading to illnesses in chronic lung conditions and nicotine poisoning. Now, a new World Health Organization report, they are saying grow food, not tobacco. And it's highlighting the ills of tobacco growing and the benefits of switching to a more sustainable food crops for farmers, communities, economies, the environment, and the world at large. They also expose the industry for trapping farmers in vicious cycles of debt, propagating tobacco growing by exaggerating its economic benefits and lobbying through farming front groups. So they, make noise that they are actually gaining as much as they are not. And he said more than 300 million people globally are faced with acute food insecurity. Meanwhile, more than 3 million hectares of land across more than 120 countries are being used to grow tobacco, even in countries where people are starving. They highlighted how they are using even young people to go into those farms, right. And we need to focus more on food now.
Okay. Let me take Adamu again, because you took the story earlier, but this is in reference to the white paper of visitation. So what happened is that there was visitation of panels to 42 higher institutions in the country, and they were supposed to come back with a report. So the Minister of Education was supposed to actually present the report to, the federal government was supposed to present the report to the stakeholders, because what happened that report was based on various factors to see the financial management of the institutions, the areas of application of funds, particularly the special grants, loans, various things, academic standards, quality assurance, management of finances, relationship between management. So that white paper was one of the key issues that ASU had with federal government that released this paper. Let us even understand what's going to happen. It's also determine how much money they require per institution. For whatever reason, this minister that admits that he had knew nothing on education didn't release that document. Hung on to the white paper. It wasn't done on time.
Wow.
Well, thankfully, barely 4 days to the end of the administration, Adamu finally officially released the white paper report of visitation panels to the stakeholders, the gazetted white papers of the presidential visitation exercise, and evaluation of the 42 institutions, as I said earlier. So now we have the white paper. Hopefully now that could be a reference point for the execution to ensure the development and rehabilitation of these universities. It was crucial.
Why was he holding it before? Wasn't it supposed to be used for...
Yes, we have.
Okay, so we've got airline solicitors have written to the outgoing president concerning Nigeria Air. We're sort of celebrating, but I said we should hold our excitement for a bit. So it looks like there's some controversy. A letter was written to the president dated May 24th and was written by the solicitors of the Airline Operators of Nigeria, AON. And they're saying that Nigeria Air project is a last-minute plan, by the minister to deflect from the case that is before it, like a corruption case. They said it's in disobedience to court order and deliberate plan to rubbish the achievements of the administration. They also said that the ministry is trying to, of course, evade allegations of corruption raised in the pending case, and that if the president does not stop, what is about to happen, it would paint his administration in a bad light. The Airline operators are also saying that for avoidance of doubt, AON welcomes the establishment of more airlines in Nigeria, for we believe that the skies are big enough to accommodate all. However, AON is against any contraption that is shadowy and not in the best overall interest of the country. So we'll see what the president, if the president will respond to this letter. As you said, it's really last minute. A lot of things happening right now.
We're going to get more things that happen today because today's the last official working day. Okay, that is all we can take on what the papers have said.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.